same is harder.
Yeah.
Agreed. I just best practices.
Yeah.
Joe said we're going to do the first weekend back. Next steps kicks off then.
You can't because you won't have announced it anywhere.
Right. I hadn't actually never been to Next Steps. I don't know when they have. Like, this was really.
You should go visit Keith.
Seriously. So I'll go. I'll teach you.
Why am I not getting? Ah, there we go. Thank you. Hey, everybody. This is Kathy with our O&I for this week, November 29th on the site. We try to give you things that are coming up from a site that might be helpful for you to know so you can continue to give us your awesome support. A couple highlights. One, Christmas teaching is going to be done by Campus Pastors week 3 and 4, which is December 9th and 10th, as well as December 16th and 17th. And we did this a little bit last year, but this year we're doing it even more so, is that every campus pastor will only have to do one message. And then they'll be rotating to other sites so that you don't know, depending on the site you go, you don't have any idea who will actually be doing the teaching on one of those 2 weeks. So every part of our community will get the same messages over those 2 weeks, but it might not be in the same sequence, and it'll be delivered by different people. So it should be very fun for campus pastors to get a chance to talk to different communities, for communities to hear different voices, and obviously great for campus pastors that only have to prep one of those messages. So that's what's coming up for Christmas. Greg McElfresh isn't available right now, so I wanted to give you an update on Eastside. We will be getting the temporary occupancy certificate as of Monday. So that means next week we get furniture in, and most of the Eastside staff will actually be able to work in Eastside without a hard hat. And that means also if you want to visit, there'll be some staff there that can host you around. It's awesome, awesome thing. We're doing all volunteer training, so that's for all ministries, is going to be on Wednesday, December 13th. With a soft launch for December 16th and 17th at Eastside. Dedication is still scheduled for December 20th, and you are all invited to that, as well as all of our I'm In givers. And we're going to be announcing that in the locker room this week. Christmas Eve services at Eastside will be at 3 and 5. And then our grand opening, public grand opening, is January 6th and 7th. Those of you who are living on the Eastside, hopefully you'll start seeing some billboards and mailers, because as of Friday, those will be coming out. We're looking to launch with 3 services in Eastside, Saturday at 5:30 and Sunday at 9 and 11. If you want to pray for something at Eastside, Greg is asking for prayers around the Pro Sound installation. That's the last thing to happen, and it looks like it's going to come right to the wire as usual. So give some prayers of provision and protection for the Pro Sound guys. Let's get an update from Dayton, Mr. Jeff.
Right. Hey, we're excited to be launching also in January in Dayton, and we're looking at 2 services. We may end up with 1. We're debating the pros and cons of that on Thursday. We have tons of things to figure out. We appreciate Micah's support on getting the cafetorium at Bellbrook Middle School to be the finest cafetorium in the country, and we're working with Kids Club to determine whether we can do Kids Club or childcare at launch, and how to move forward with that. So we really appreciate Beth Perry's work there. Todd Bretz is working with us in the FI team on a FI solution for the auditorium, and to have one of those that can be mobile and transported to other sites as that starts up. So a lot to do in the next month, but we're super excited. It's time to go. We're going through a 40-day prayer circle together as a community, and one of the things that we learned about a few days ago is that if you want to see God move, you got to move first. So we're going to move, and we're going to launch weekly services. We got people showing up right now on weeks we're not even meeting. They are begging for us to come, and so we're going to do that, and we're going to trust God to provide as we get into that launch.
And give us a sense a little bit, Jeff, of the numbers that you're seeing in Dayton.
Yeah, last month we had 215. We've seen the steady rise go up as we've done this. We started with 60 during the journey last year during the pilot, and every month we've had more and it's increased to 215 now. So we really anticipate that God's going to continue to bring people in. They're anxious and energized. They're joining social media groups that we have and being active and participating in that. So we're looking forward to
Very
seeing that grow.
exciting. Yeah. It's great to see what
Yeah.
God's going to do. I'm going to let Matt Castleman go next. And he's not talking in his West Side hat so much as giving an update on what we're doing with student ministry.
Yes, like she said, important update. We noticed from Friendsgiving, which was wildly successful at all of our sites that did it. We had more middle schoolers, we had more high schoolers come, and since it was part and built into the regular weekly experience, it was easier to get those new people to come back to the next weekly experience. So student ministry, we trust their brainstorming, we trust their creative energy towards this. We're going to change the big that's happening after Super Bowl of next year to not be a big, but to be an expanded weekly experience, high invite. In that same big sense, we'll have creative branding and pushes for main stage, resources going to it, but it will take place like a Friendsgiving event. And the thought being we get more high schoolers, more middle schoolers, and it's at the site, and it's easier to come back to the next weekend's experience. So no big after Super Bowl, but something in its place in the weekly experience. And just because I thought of it, BT, I know some of you were asking, BT is going to celebrate the TFD numbers and stories this weekend from stage. So look forward to that.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Little update on Mason.
Yeah.
Tim.
Hey, everybody. So just two quick things. One, I know I speak on behalf of Chuck and Lori at Oakley and for Mason, just so grateful for all of you, all of the work you're doing to make Awaited happen. It's so, I know, just crushing at times, but it means the world to all of our sites. And I know Mason and Oakley are really grateful. And so we are ready. I know Oakley launches Friday and we launch in 2 weeks from Friday. So we're thrilled about that. Just super quick, we are experiencing good problems at Mason. We have been seeing a lot of growth and trying to consider how we accommodate that growth specifically as we head into our busiest season of the year for attendance. So we're not yet determined exactly what the numbers will be, but we're looking at expanding to an additional fourth service starting next school year and this winter, adjusting service times, which are currently Sunday morning at 9:15 and 11, or Saturday at 5 o'clock. There's more than enough room. But Sunday morning, adjusting those times to try to level out those numbers so that we'll make sure we can continue to grow through the winter. So when we have those nailed down, we will let you know. But the 11 o'clock is too full, and that will be going later. And that'll be starting January 7th. So we'll let you know when we know more, but those are good problems. And I know all of our sites are going to be hitting this more and more, how do we keep growing by adding services or changing times? So good problems.
Great. Why don't we wrap up with Oakley's got a little thing going on starting this Friday, right?
We do. Awaited is happening all month long, starting Friday. And we are working, first of all, coming up, we are going to have a marketing plan going into January for Oakley, and we'll tell you more about that later. But the month of December, our VIP room is our best way to market for coming back. And so we have created a landing page that we're going to put information on that people can choose to do whatever the next step would be, whether that is something to do for Christmas Eve, whether that's the week that we're shut down, whether it's coming back to the first service for Super Bowl, any of those kinds of things. So similar to last year, if you were in the VIP room where we filled out a card, we're going to ask people for their email addresses to get to that landing page to be able to invite them to those things. And I want to let you know that we're going to try to run the VIP room every show except the first one. So if you are doing giving dinners, if you are bringing groups of people for something, we want you to bring those groups of people to the VIP room after the show so that they can experience a little bit of Crossroads and get connected somehow as well. And if you have large groups that you'd like to do that with, I'd love for you to contact me so that I can make sure we know those large groups of people are coming. VIP room is something we just tried out last year. We learned it, I think, from New Spring. And it's just a room we've created. It's in meeting room A and B if you've been here in Oakley. We kind of make it feel like Crossroads Atrium at Christmas time, kind of off of the Awaited show. So afterwards, you can come for a very short period of time, like 15 minutes, come learn a little bit more about Crossroads, talk to a few people that have been here, and we usually offer a free gift of like a mug or something. So we'd love to host you for that at the Oakley location if you guys are here with people for that time frame. So go Awaited.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Lori. And I think that's it from the sites this week. Thanks for listening and have a great week.